So, the contradiction that I want to talk about in the Quran today is this concept that there is the concept of bearing burdens in the Quran. It's very conflicting. You have quite a few verses that say that no bearer of burdens can bear the burdens of another, while you have other verses that say the opposite, that say that there are uh, bearer of burdens that will bear their own burdens and also bear the burdens of others. So this is the contradictions that we're going in. One verse is chapter 35, verse 18. It says, no bearer of burdens can bear the burdens of another. And then another verse, 29, verse 13. And you have 16:25 that says that bearer of burdens will bear their own burdens and the burdens of others that they've misled. So, which is it? Can they bear the burdens of others or can they not?
All right. You done with that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if you look in 29:13, which he brings up, and you look back one verse, that's one of the problems that we get with Christians when they look at the Quran. They forget that it's the same thing as the Bible in places. You have to look at the context. So in 29:12, it specifically said, those who disbelieved said to those who believed, if you follow our way, we will be responsible for your sins. Not true. They cannot bear any of their sins. They are liars. In fact, they will carry their own sins in addition to the loads of other people's sins, which they were responsible for or responsible. Most certainly, they will be asked on the day of resurrection about their false claims. So it is clear here that in the context, what they're talking about, they're talking to those who disbelieved, that said to those who believed, if you follow our way, we will be responsible for your sins, which they can't be. So they lied to them and said, we're going to be responsible for those sins. The sins they will be responsible for are their own. The disbelievers will be responsible for their own, and for the fact that they led others astray. So when it says here, this, and if you look at 16:25, you have the exact same issue. It's a context issue. So if we go to, let me switch to 16:25 real quick, and I'll read that, because this is a very similar verse to the other one. Now, another thing with chapter 29 is the word for loads and the word in 35:18 are two different. Even the word that it comes from is different. So actually, the smartest thing would go to the 16:25 because it uses the same base word. So if we look at 16:25, it says they will be held responsible for their sins on the day of resurrection, all of them, in addition to the sins of those whom they misled by their ignorance. What a miserable load. So to me, it's very clear that what it's showing is that you're going to be responsible for your own sins. And if you lead somebody astray, you're going to be responsible for leading somebody astray, but you do not take from their sins. They are still responsible for their own load.
All right, so let's read these together.
Which one are you going to first?
35:18.
All right.
So it says, and no
if
burden.
You can, give me a minute. My system's slow. Give me just a minute so I can read it with you. And what translation are you using?
Picked off.
Oh, okay.
All right. So it says, no burdened soul can bear another's burden, correct?
Yeah, this says no soul can carry the sins of another.
Yeah,
soul.
No burdened soul specifically. No burdened soul can bear the burdens of another. Now, in the other verse that we read, in 16:25 and 29:13, because you said they're both the same thing, which I agree. So we could just read one of them. And 16:25, it says that they will bear their own burdens on the day of resurrection, and some of the burdens of those whom they've misled without knowledge. All right. So, are they bearing their own burdens and the burdens of others?
No, just like it says right here, starting in, we'll start with 35:18. It says, no soul can carry the sins of another soul. So we know that if a soul that is loaded with sins implores another to bear part of its load, no other soul can carry any part of it, even if they were related to, even if they were related. So even if they were brother and sister or what have you, the only people to heed your warnings are those who reverence their Lord. And it goes on from there. I mean, if there's something down there that's important to you, the main thing is it's clear. Nobody can take the burden of somebody else's sins, right? Except for, here's the issue that you got.
Where do you
that,
see except for? Where do you see except?
Oh, I'll tell you why. Because you're not taking their burdens.
That's what it says, though.
No, it doesn't. Actually, what it says is that you're going to be responsible. Let's go to 16:25 for the sin of leading them astray.
That's not what it says.
All right, I'm about to read it for you, and then you'll see. It says they will be held responsible for their sins on the day of resurrection, all of them, in addition to the sins of all those whom they misled by their ignorance.
Okay.
What a miserable load. So, in other words, if you and I go in and rob a store and I talk you into doing it, you're still going to bear the sin of robbing the store, but I'm also going to have the sin of leading you to rob that store.
It doesn't say that. It says here that they may bear their burdens undiminished on the day of resurrection, with some of the burdens of those whom they've misled without knowledge. So according to this verse, they're bearing their own burdens and some of the burdens of those they've misled. Some of those burdens are going to be put on them since they caused them to go astray. Correct?
No, that's
literally
whatever one you're reading is number one is not one that I use anyway.
That's literally what it says.
Really? So you know Arabic is what you're saying?
Oh wait. Oh, should we go to the Arabic? Let's go to the Arabic.
You know Arabic?
I love to go to the corpus.
No, do you know Arabic?
I don't have to. We can do word study. I don't have to.
No. I'm not going to trust you on a word study.
No,
so
I'll post the link. I'll post the link, and you can look at it yourself.
No.
Yeah,
so
let's do that. I'm gonna
just like no, we're not. If you don't know Arabic, then it's not.
I rely on the scholars that do know Arabic. That's beautiful, right?
Well, no, because is that how you look at Greek too?
I rely on the scholars who know Greek.
Yeah, you're an idiot. So it says that they may bear their own burdens, i.e., sins, in full on the day of resurrection, and some of the burdens of those whom they misguide without knowledge.
So can you bear the burdens of others or not?
Just like I said, I just explained it to you. I know you can't figure it out. I get that. But what it says is that
plain contradiction.
Yeah, no, actually. Are you done yet?
No, yeah, go ahead. I'm listening, bro. I'm having a good time. Go ahead.
No, I am too. Resurrection, it says that specifically that they will share the burdens of those whom they misguide without knowledge. So in other words, you're going to have the burdens of the people you misguided.
Okay, so can you, according to 35:18, can you share the burdens of those you've misguided or not?
No, it specifically says you cannot.
Okay, so there's the contradiction. 35.
No, actually, it's not a contradiction.
1 second, thank you. No, you just literally just gave me the debate. You literally just said no, it doesn't. It says you cannot. Thank you. According to 35:18, no one can bear the burdens. You can't share no burdens with nobody. No situation at all. It literally just blankets the statement. You cannot bear the burdens of another, while 1625 and 2913 gives you a little exception that you can bear the burdens of those you misled. I don't care how you explain
Absolutely
it,
wrong.
it's still a contradiction.
No, it isn't. I just explained it. Now, of course, you didn't say anything about what I brought up. If I cause you to do something, you're still going to bear the burden of doing it. I bear the burden of doing it, and for because it says specifically right there if you read it.
All right, yeah, show me. Where does it say?
I've already showed you. Read it again and think about it.
I'll read it. So I'm looking at it right here. Let's see here. Let me make sure. I got both of them up at the same time. All right, 1625. That they may bear their burdens undiminished on the day of resurrection with some of the burdens of those whom they've misled without knowledge. Evil is that which they bear. I don't see what you said. Let's go to 29:13. But they verily will bear their own burdens and other burdens besides their own.
Yeah, there you have to go back to 12.
Excuse me. And they will verily be questioned on the day of resurrection concerning that which they invented. You said it's in verse 12?
Yep.
All right, let's
you got to read the context. I mean, I know you don't know what context means.
No, let's do this. Let's read verse 12 then. Hold on, let me add verse 12 in here. Let's see if it helps our friend Charlie. Let's see if
who the fuck did you just call me?
Charlie.
I'm not your buddy.
Oh, that's okay. You are my buddy.
No.
Yeah, I love you.
You'll respect, or I'll call you Avery Pussy.
Why? Because isn't that your name, bro?
You're a punk. You're a punk. That's why.
Is that your name?
All right, yeah. Come on.
You want to get stupid with me?
You already got stupid. I can't even get any stupider than that, man.
Yeah.
I don't think we can get any.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when I meet you.
Okay, I'm in Balboa Park, 12 to 6 p.m. every Sunday. All right.
Yeah.
So it says, verse 12, the one that you wanted us to read. Those who disbelieve say unto those who believe, follow our way, and we verily will bear your sins. They cannot bear except of their own sins. They verily are liars. So it just said in verse 12, watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Verse 12 says that disbelievers say to believers, hey, don't worry, follow our way, and we can bear your sins. We'll bear your sins. And then it corrects them saying, no, they cannot bear their sins except their own. But then verse 13 contradicts that and says, but verily they will bear their own sins and others besides their own, and they will verily be questioned on the day of resurrection concerning that which they invented. Man, this is over, man. This is over. 12 literally contradicts 13. Thank you for showing that to me.
It's God.